Slowly, painfully, my body began to respond. The paralytic substances wore off first, allowing tiny movements. Then my voice returned, hoarse and weak, but mine again. Each small improvement felt like a miracle after months of decline. Word spread through the hospital about what had happened. Staff who'd praised my parents' devotion now realized they'd been enablers. Doctors who'd dismissed my claims scrambled to review their notes. Everyone wanted to understand how they'd been fooled for so long. Something feels off about how quickly that nurse picked up on everything. 18 years of doctors missing this, but she spots the pattern in one shift. The timing of Catherine showing up for experience right when things get critical seems awfully convenient too. But I understood. My parents had crafted the perfect crime, using love as a weapon and devotion as camouflage. They'd turned natural trust into a tool for murder. They'd made everyone complicit through compassion. The investigation revealed the full scope of their plan. 17 insurance policies totaling $50 million. Receipts for enough poison to kill dozens. Medical records carefully doctored to support their narrative of chronic illness. They'd started small when I was born, tiny doses that caused minor symptoms. Then they'd gradually increased, creating a pattern of mysterious illness that no doctor could solve. They'd been patient, methodical, willing to wait 20 years for their payout. The sharp-eyed nurse monitored my vitals while the medical team scrambled to counteract the final injection. My body convulsed as competing chemicals battled in my bloodstream. The nurse adjusted IV drips, calculating dosages based on the substances she'd identified in my system. Catherine stood frozen by the door, watching security escort my parents down the hallway. Through the window, I saw Mom still clutching the empty syringe, her face a mask of disbelief. Dad walked stiffly beside her, already planning his next move. The dialysis machine hummed as it filtered toxins from my blood. Each cycle brought marginal improvement. My fingers twitched involuntarily. My eyelids fluttered, small signs of life returning to a body that had been dying for 18 years. Dr. Morrison arrived within minutes, her professional composure shattered. She reviewed the evidence the nurse had compiled, cross-referencing it with my medical history. Her hands shook as she realized how thoroughly she'd been deceived. The nurse directed the team with quiet efficiency. She'd researched antidotes for the specific poisons my parents favored, chelation therapy for the heavy metals, activated charcoal for the plant-based toxins, supportive medications for my failing organs. Hours passed in a blur of procedures. My consciousness flickered in and out like a faulty light bulb. Each time I surfaced, the nurse was there, checking monitors, adjusting treatments, fighting for my survival with the same determination my parents had shown trying to kill me. Catherine returned with additional staff. Word had spread through the hospital about what had happened. Nurses who'd praised my parents' devotion now volunteered for extra shifts. Doctors who'd dismissed my claims offered their expertise. The same system that had enabled my parents now worked to save me. My body fought back harder than anyone expected. Years of poisoning had damaged me extensively, but it had also built up certain resistances. My liver, scarred from processing toxins, still functioned. My heart, weakened but stubborn, maintained its rhythm. The sharp-eyed nurse never left my bedside. She'd taken personal responsibility for my care, documenting every treatment, every improvement, every setback. Her meticulous records would serve as evidence, but more importantly, they ensured continuity of care. By morning, I could move my fingers deliberately. The paralytic substances had mostly cleared my system. I squeezed the nurse's hand when she checked my reflexes, a conscious action rather than an involuntary twitch. She smiled, the first genuine expression I'd seen from medical staff in months. No pity, no condescension, just relief that I was fighting back. She helped me practice small movements, rebuilding connections between brain and body. Dr. Morrison returned with specialists she'd consulted, toxicologists who understood poisoning patterns, psychiatrists who recognized factitious disorder imposed on another, ethicists who grappled with how the medical system had failed me so completely. They examined me thoroughly, this time actually listening when I managed to whisper responses. My voice was barely audible, damaged from months of chemical burns and intubation, but it was mine. I could finally speak my truth. The investigation expanded as more evidence emerged. Police searched my parents' house, finding stockpiles of poisons hidden throughout. The basement contained a virtual chemistry lab where Mom had perfected her mixtures. Dad's office held detailed spreadsheets tracking my symptoms against dosages. They documented everything, confident in their plan's success. 18 years of meticulous records showing exactly how they'd slowly murdered me while playing devoted parents. Their own obsessive note-taking would convict them. Catherine visited between shifts, struggling to process what she'd witnessed. She'd entered medicine to help people, not to uncover attempted murder by parents. The sharp-eyed nurse mentored her through the trauma, showing how vigilance could save lives. My recovery proceeded in tiny increments. First, I could wiggle my toes, then bend my knees slightly. Each movement required enormous effort, but I pushed through the exhaustion. After 18 years of declining, any progress felt miraculous. The nurse created